lost by Fnatic because it's not a great statistic.
No.
The one that they have right now.
20% win rate on the attack.
Yeah, that's...
So it's a very, very little amount of rounds.
It's once upon a time a really good attacking team as well, under their old mantle.
Yeah.
Because we have these questions. There's always questions of what's happened? What's gone wrong? Why has there been such a big disconnect, not only between you and the meta, or you and the rest of the teams you're playing against, not you, the metaphysical you, the questions there, but also you versus you, because when they were in the previous split, granted under a different roster name, it's not an entirely new roster. There's been changes, but still, it's a core of what was once a really good attacking team.
That's it, right? I mean, the changes weren't that massive. I mean, if you look at the EUL, for example, G2 has 3 new players. Here, just a single one. And ever since, the attacks just don't seem to be going that well. But there's still a lot to be gained here. Thatcher band, Hibana band, those two do make sense on a map like Clubhouse. Valkyrie, of course, has received a small nerf. Cameras no longer allowed to be outside for more than 3 seconds, then they just lose connection. And the Mira being banned as well. That's the 4 we will have to deal with. And we're headed into round 1. And Fnatic will have 6 opportunities here today to get attacking wins. Are they going to be able to be successful is the big question here. Are they going to be able to... Is that someone who broke... Look at that.
Again.
Yura not running the Fnatic background.
A fool's errand.
It is unacceptable.
If you had a background that
I would run it.
I would run it.
And I would post it everywhere.
I would run it in games that I couldn't even run it in. Other Ubisoft titles like Riders Republic, I'd run it in that.
Roller Champions when it comes out.
Roller Champion, I'd run it in that.
I'll roll it in that.
Okay. DAMWON Kia. Now, you sort of have a lot working for you in your favor, but if we're going to criticize the things about Fnatic, just to sort of set a pace, we may as well say what DK hasn't been doing so hot, which for me has been the opening of games. They've sometimes, they've pretty often started slow. They haven't had the same pace that, they get it later on in the game, sure, and they're able to develop themselves, but Fnatic know that they can play a good defense. If they find themselves walking away with 1 round here on their attack, that's technically an improvement. I'm not going to say it's good. I'm not going to say it's great.
You take it by small steps, right? I mean, sometimes you have to take every little win you can get, and if that's a single round here on Clubhouse, then sure, go for it. In the meantime, no, Yura being droned in towards that basement. He's at the main stairs already, looking at that double door, but as the drone is just staying put for now, he will be as well. There's no real reason for him to push up any further than he currently has, because there is still a roam game. Yes, Boogeyman, both still upstairs, are going to be potentially found out about by this Gemini replicator. I think you might have seen the feet there of Boogeyman. And what will happen at some point is they will fall back, and they could fall back either through blue, or they can fall back through those main stairs. So if Yura stays hidden in this position, might be able to pick up a couple of kills here as Yas is going into that first gunfight.
Well, you can see they set themselves up very well there to try and catch the roam game, but losing that firefight, losing that engagement, means DK can try and slip themselves away. They've opted not to. They still have a presence on the top floor. They're sort of saying, well, you know, we've got Katsang who has finally rotated his way around. They wanted to long it out for as long as possible. Woogieman, he's just on the connector of the stairs. They've still got this threat, this presence, and you're looking at a minute 20 now, and it becomes this question. Sure, Fnatic, you were quick to get into position to try and capitalize on this. You were quick to get players towards the site, but without anything else to do here other than dig them out, at what point do you sort of go, well, this is a bit of a lost cause?
Still one upstairs. Actually went back as Yura was going on that drone, so there's still the opportunity to go for a flank as Woogieman finds the very first. Red pings were coming in, however, on his position, so they're very well aware of the fact that he's still in CC, and while rotation through the garage is out of question now, he's basically in a do-or-die situation and finds another one there. Mariu off the board as he finds a third on the stairs, but is unable to connect his shots with him though, and now gets fully flashed in the middle of that gunfight.
Well, they're at least able to get rid of Woogieman, but look at what he's been able to do. A double kill within that final minute. After they'd got him cleared and checked out so early on, they just didn't really opt to find a way to put the pressure at the right point. He picked his fights perfectly. He went one to the next, and then since then they've been able to at least get rid of him, but 20 seconds, smoke canisters stopping the direct approach here from the bottom of blue. There is a bit of a location. You can see Light is trying to find his way down on the double door on the opposite side. It's a bit of a drive here now. If they can get some solidity, maybe, but they don't have much time to do it. There's at least one in a trade on the back. Go see if he can pick up another. Jibby has the diffuser, though, and that's the risk here right now. He hasn't got it inside the site. Yas has the lock on the door. Doesn't matter what you do on the other side. The diffuser is nowhere near.
They got quite close here, actually. It was a 2v3 situation there. DAMWON Kia was able to bring it back. I think they should have gone for Church, however. As soon as the Maverick came in from the motorcycle, gets the player right behind that big table. There was a lot of space there. Of course, a lot undroned inside of Armory. Still players around there on the side of DAMWON Kia, which cost them the round eventually. That diffuser being dropped there is absolutely detrimental. And DAMWON Kia win their first defensive round, but Fnatic brought it quite close there in the end. Even though they lost those 2 early engagements against Woogieman before they managed to trade him out, that's something they need to stop make happen. So if they managed to get that entry kill, there would have been extra manpower they could have used on that final execute.
Okay, DK. Again, I still have an eye on these early rounds, and again, I know what you're like at the end of a map, but we know what Fnatic can be on their defense. It's a story that I think will be told in this first half. If suddenly we find ourselves in another situation where Fnatic cannot get a single bite out of these attacks, well, it's dangerous.
It's definitely going to be dangerous indeed. You need to make sure that you at least get a singular round going your way. And, well, let's just say, too, on a map like Clubhouse, again, everybody knows how to attack this. DAMWON Kia has proven to be successful with it as well, multiple times. So even if your defense is working well, it doesn't guarantee you to win that round. Lights coming in with the Maverick here. Holes have been opened up below. It's going to be making it a little bit more tricky for him to open it up properly. Doesn't seem like he wants to go for it fully. No, not really quite the opening you would have hoped for. So back on the upside down rappel to try again. This time we'll be succeeding for the most part of it. But as there is still some wall left, some soft wall, it makes it just a little bit harder for him. And he's struggling very much to try and open this up perfectly. There you go. Soft now. Can be breached. Either way, they have that opening. That's step 1. That's the first thing you need to do for CCTV take. And after this, you need to decide, are we going for garage control or are we going for a construction push? Both are viable. Sometimes the garage is a little bit easier, especially if you have a lot of grenades in pocket. You can easily use those to get rid of the players on the rafters, and, well, you can plant in default. The only thing that is worrying you after that, as Mario just had a potential opportunity there to pick up a kill. Fails to do that. It's a jump out actually from Yas. It's going to be going right back at him. Mario drops. And that is going to be 90 seconds left in a 4-on-5 situation here. 2 grenades out of pocket as well.
It's just that level of punishment there. Yas was so free to fling himself out of construction window. They're putting pressure onto Jim. They're putting pressure onto the bedroom side. They know that they're trying to funnel those players across. They know that they're going for this control here. Why was nobody in the position to watch for that play at the same time? Because, well, that's the place you're going to be able to pinch people. That's the place you're going to be able to pull people. Whether they jump out or not, you have to have more awareness. At that point, it's a disconnect that has punished Fnatic time and time and time and time and time again. But here they've been able to at least get themselves a little bit closer. They've lost Ianus. They've lost a couple of grenades around the corner of the pocket and the destruction of this electricity. If they might be able to catch anything here, the C4 gets shot out over the top, and Woogieman finds Light in the meantime. That's another pair of grenades off the board. Only the ones left in the pocket of Lily here to see if they can try and do anything to help this Thermite get in through that wall. The smoke canisters stop it. There's players underneath the side. It's still. DK have lounge control. They have garage control, and Fnatic have only 20 seconds.
That's it, right? I wanted to go for a construction push, but did not fully commit here, and his Katsing is going to be able to take out Ur as well. The last 2 remaining players here are inside construction. The wall still closed up as they used it as a bit of a rotation here, and with this shield on the top of red, they're going to be able to deny the door. That forces them to go through the rotate that they have freshly made, and as it's only up to Lily now, it's a second round that goes into the favor of DAMWON Kia. And they're going to be able to extend that lead slightly here. Again, some small improvements shown here. They had an ID, just not very well executed by the side of Fnatic. Because I think they were too split, right? First of all, you have one person on the highway. No one is checking for the jump out. There is no drone, no information. So you're basically completely prone to that. Even someone could have ran up to the CCTV window and could have punched it if there wasn't the wall that was breached, of course. So due to that lack of information, you lose these players early on. And after that, DAMWON Kia just starts snowballing upon you. And that is something that really needs to be better. Either physically cover or get a drone out there to make sure you are ready to respond to any potential jump out onto the balcony.
It's an uncertainty from Fnatic's approaches. It's this, I don't know whether to call it a bit of caution, because we're still not seeing the full Fnatic roster.
No.
That's always something you have to take into consideration. And Mag, who is that missing piece, is a big drive for that. And when his most recent stint, his most recent split for the previous roster, he was consistently that player that kept driving in. I'm super curious to see what he can offer, because, again, that example there on that round where they just didn't quite have the drive to get in, the one on the previous round, we're seeing a lot of their attacks sort of time and fizzle out. I would love to see the potential effect he might be able to have here on a bit of growth, on a bit of the chance of putting this pressure in and just being that driving force.
I like that thorn there underneath the hedge, by the way. It's not going to do anything directly, but as soon as they do drop in, it starts to detonate, and you cannot go back out. So you need to shoot it, or you need to dig in deeper. That's a very daring angle from Boogeyman, just waiting with the M870 there. I mean, it's a good gun. It's a very, I mean, remember when Recruit was still in the game and people would do M870 Recruit shotgun rushes? You know, that was a fun time. Of course, no longer able to do in comp, maybe for the better of it, because it's a bit of BM if you manage to win a round like that. Either way, M870 still on some operators, of course. Jaeger, Bandit, and, of course, Thorn as well. You occasionally see it, and it very often picks up kills as well. You can only go to a Nigiri, by the way, during the 6th Invitational, able to also pick up a couple of kills for his kill record with the M870.
All right, here we're getting a little bit of pressure onto the Jacuzzi side. Woogieman's trying to give himself a little bit more extension with those Razor Blooms, seeing if they can try and, as you said, it's that double stack. It's a trap gadget. It'll pop off when somebody tries to get in. It will give you that intel on this approach, but also if they're a little bit foolish, it can maim or destroy somebody. They still have some ideas of the pressure and the hold coming through. The droning towards Yas as he goes for the slow creep. It's being watched. How fervently, I don't know, because they've been punished by little surprise strikes before, and they've got to make sure that they dash while they have the opportunity. We are close to passing that minute mark. We haven't seen an engagement yet.
Grenades being tossed into the bathroom here, unable, however, to find either Woogieman rotating out. So they're throwing in grenades, but they're not watching to rotate out. So it allows them to just go back in. And as they're rotating around now, seems like they might want to be going for a Logi push here, or even maybe from the balcony fully. They haven't cleared out CCTV, though. That is going to be a very big worry with Yas still in the garage. Rin still on the top of red. Could easily be going for a couple of sprays here as Yas misses the opportunity, and Light finds the very first kill, taking out Katsang.
Now then, can they try and build behind it? They've been able to get this entry, they've been able to get themselves locked in, but it's the pressure to put that application onto the site that suffers time and time again. A swing round and Rin gets locked out by Yura. They have more bullets and they have the ability to keep pushing without needing the reload. You can see this DK rotates, coming back round on the opposite side. Chibi finds one more. It's a 5 versus 4 versus 2, but they're going to see if they can get the stick in the meantime. Just coated left, doesn't have the angle, but
he does!
The diffuser, a couple of seconds left. Can they get the recollection in time? He just has to swing and get the pick. He's in the right place, but the pre-fire is on the side of Yura.
Had a little bit of late round information maybe, or we're aware of the fact that he rotated out as an opportunity. Every single gun of Fnatic was watching Logi, and then of course that one player that decided he could become in construction as well saved them the round there, because otherwise that would have been an injure or down to come through. And Fnatic, they win the first round here on Clubhouse. It's an improvement, small steps, and now let's see if they can get another one. If they do find a second, suddenly we might have ourselves a pretty good game on our hands here, because I think many would have expected DAMWON Kia to just run over Fnatic. Especially with the side choice, the way it went.
I think that's that sort of play as well. The position that we're in with Fnatic there, that missing link, that drive was that LMG, was that force, was that push, because they had to keep that pressure hot. They still found themselves close to the wire. It was almost a big clutch. Being able to get that opening body isn't just the be-all and end-all story. It's the movement that you make behind that momentum. And that is that important part. That is that important play, which they need to just get that energy and try and build it behind them. DK, I would say that's the first round they've sort of been truly tested on the site itself.
Yeah.
Sure, we've seen Fnatic boots in the final bit of masonry, but I would say that was the only true test of it. And even then, it was late.
Yeah, this time they were able to find the success. Of course, one of the rounds was not as close. One of them did come down to last couple of seconds. It was a 2v3, but the diffuser got dropped due to a small mistake made. So there's definitely gains to be made here for Fnatic for these next 3 rounds, because we're returning to the full rotation here. We're going back to what we have seen before, and as Yaz is being hot droned in from that jacuzzi walls, instantly using his 2 impacts to get out of there as swiftly as he can without taking too much risk. They need to make sure that they stay on top of the man counter, but this is dangerous. Running down those stairs with Yura out there, misses the opportunity to go for the kill. Didn't even fire a single bullet. Would have had the opportunity to at least injure a little bit, but now he didn't give away his position. They might rotate back up at some point, and if he's still watching it, there's an opportunity there to be gained.
It's a very different approach here from DK, and it's sort of putting maybe an idea of, okay, we got to keep them at a bit of arm's reach. We can't just entirely hand them everything. They'll be more aware of our chance of playing on the top floor, and we know that we can sort of batten down the hatches on the side itself, but it could also work in the favor of Fnatic. That problem that I've sort of been alluding to before, if you hand a little bit more territory, you give yourself that extra 30 seconds to put onto the site, that could be the difference maker, because they've been able to get to the door. But with barely any time, one mistake leads to a mistaken round. Setting themselves up the angles, they're going for the rotates. They can now apply pressure on multiple forces, which they didn't have the time to do previously. They just sort of had to try and drive themselves in on the 2 openings that were already kind of created for them.
And they now need to find a bit more, though. They're starting to open up in the kitchen, and of course you know that no one is going to be playing close off the actual armory side, but Zugerman is slowly still creeping around here with that ACS. The slug shotgun, of course, 26 bullets, if not more, in the magazine. Could be 32, actually. There's some scans coming out. They know someone is blue. Yura's trying to put up the pressure. Damage is being done to either side here slightly. With 30 seconds, though, there's no way for them to currently open up that breach. So a grenade from above will probably be caught by the magnet that's out there. So, ooh, that's actually going to explode the Electroclaw. Just a little bit delayed. Coda comes around the corner with the shotgun. Gets a triple kill. Katseng finds one as well. There's 2 left. Yura coming in from blue. He needs to try and clutch this up. Lily is still above. There's not much time left. And as he sneaks around the corner, he finds one. Doesn't see the second. Gets taken out. And with 10 seconds left, and Lily going into the motorcycle now. He is taken out by Coated as well. DAMWON Kia turn around that round quickly as they try to open up the triple wall.
One little adventure with a shotgun and a friend. And that's a triple kill there, as they just got locked out by the actual wall, by the actual structure, the utility burn of the site. They couldn't quite get the mass together. They found themselves again sort of flittering and fluttering at that final approach, and, well, the landing was met with that aggression. But even if, and let's just hypothesicalize right now, even if...
I'm confused how to actually say the word.
Even if they hadn't have swung there with the shotgun, you're still looking at about 15 seconds. They didn't have the pipes wall open. They just had a player coming down on the opposite side of blue. And again, you wonder where these sort of conversations were coming from Fnatic. DK, it was a good bit of movement. I thought that they were getting a little bit rested on their laurels. This proves that they are still kind of lighting up with Fnatic. It's that old school DK where every single game they sort of set themselves up to play to this medal. They have this little habit now of sometimes getting a little bit too comfortable, which we've seen punish them. We've seen it punish many teams. That little warm-up, that little moment, it makes sure that they're still keeping themselves heads in the game. But it obviously came at the punishment of Fnatic. 2 more chances. Can they try and improve?
It's a big question. Can they try to improve here? I mean, they've already got that 1 round, but it would be nice to see growth throughout the match here as well, especially from these tiny mistakes made here and there. Rin
Oh.
The very first kill, Yura picked up. That's the Zofia gone. Also, Yura, one of those players of Fnatic that has been able to consistently find kills in the round, has been removed. And that might be a bigger hit than many might think at first. Is this going to be an impact trick? Yes, it is. That is going to be one extra thermic gone. And that's what you get when no one is playing on tap balcony. You're just going to allow them to try and close it off. And instead of trying to open it up again, they're just going to completely forget about it. Leave Yaz out there. He's going to be rotating back, taking control of construction at some point in the round, because the rest of Fnatic currently trying to get rid of that main wall. As Light is working. Is that going to be a C4 tossed through?
I mean, he's tempted, but they've opened the... Oh, have they opened the lower down?
No, they're doing it now.
Just droning it now first.
Now they're opening it, crouched.
There it is. Yeah, they have themselves a little bit of space. The C4 doesn't quite get the full catch, but obviously without that opening before, they're not really going to be able to have that clarity. Rin's going for a retake here. They might not know Garage is about to be popped open, but now they will. They'll hear that wall being cracked to their side, and they'll just pull themselves back over to lobby. Katsang's going to head to the second story in the rafters. They still have the ADSs here. They still have the control. And they have that wall now electrified, so not anyone further, but I don't think they're going to try and open up that any wider. I think that one's kind of done there, Katsang.
You might still get a little bit of damage if you move through. That might be a bit of a sound cue when they do. So it might be a little bit of information gain as Lily gets picked up, and Coded spots one in the middle of the site suddenly. Light will find a single kill, pops over to the garage as well and finds one, but the diffuser has been dropped. A minute left on the clock. Shibisu is down. It's a 2-on-2 situation now. Yas and Rin, they need to be very patient here. They need to be aware of the fact that the diffuser has been down, and if they do, they can try and hold it off. Rin in oil pit is going to be able to spot one running by, misses most shots, however, needs to stay alive here. Yas comes in clutch and takes down Meryu as Light goes for the pickup, goes for that revive, brings it back to a 2-on-2, but Yas back on the side, absolutely crucial, will shut down potentially whichever attempt they might make.
Light had such a huge factor in the chance of this round so far. Rin's been able to get the rotate background as well. A scrappy engagement where neither sort of came off better or worse than the other. It should have really been Rin's kill. But with 20 seconds, they've at least been able to get themselves escaped and into a position where they can try and apply some pressure here. Yas as well. The misthrow on the first means another stun, another slow, and another burn of grenades. They're going to see if they can try and just plant it there on that little tucked-in hop wall. The pre-fire either side, but Yas is rotating onto the left of the door itself. Wins that first engagement. They're able to slink their way out. They've just
Rin
can't quite get out of there in time. Light, absolutely phenomenal that round, but just couldn't find that little bit extra. DAMWON Kia, they get a fourth.
And Rin, if that would have been the kill from Light earlier on, as soon as that gunfire was a bit whipped near that barrier, that could have been the decisive factor here. It could have been 3-2, but DAMWON Kia still in the lead here. And they continue building. An extra round is on the board here. Round 6 to be underway. That means we continue our site rotation. We end up back in gym and bedroom. The site we have, of course, seen before. The site that was won by Fnatic. I'm not quite sure what the mistakes were that DK made in that moment. Maybe they went a bit too aggressive towards the CCTV area. Lost some members there. Weren't quite able to strike back from construction. And lost the side as well as they overwhelmed them. Because Fnatic just... Everybody was on that bed, right? It's like, yeah, one behind the mattress, one on the bed, one on the construction door, and one was near weights. It was very clamped up. And if they wouldn't have moved over to construction a little bit sooner, then it would have been, I believe, Coded or Woogieman, I don't know anymore, to come around the corner and pick up the kill into the diffuser as they stuck it again. But that would be a clutch potential or clutch situation. It's not something you rely on every single round. So DK needs to make sure that they bring something this time where they are going to be able to close it off themselves without having to rely on a hero play from one of their players.
Now, you don't always see that shield sort of off to the side behind the bed, but with the angle towards the jacuzzi, whether they expect a little bit more of the pressure to come from that side or not. Yeah, that is very dangerous, but look how many Fnatic bodies that were watching.
Yeah, but the player in garage window would have been able to pick him up, so it's like there was nothing they could have done to try and cover that off, so it worked out well for them this time, but I wouldn't be surprised if in future matches we will have someone out there to just put up a little bit of pressure. Extra thermic used on the garage wall. It's a way to use it. open up an extra rotation here so they can put more pressure onto CCTV. However, Cash has been reinforced off as well. There's a shield on the top of red and an ADS out there, so they need to waste it. A lot of utility will need to be used, and the players already rotating out there need to be careful because that grenade almost rolled through and got Rin, but Rin lives for now.
I love this from Fnatic. The way that Euro was then moving up the stairs to get Yas as well. They were just in a position to try and apply this pressure, and this is that missing link. This is the thing that I've always sort of wanted from Fnatic, because we know what they're comfortable and capable of when they're comfortable and capable, and it's just seemed a little bit of a misnomer throughout this split so far. And here, that drive, that dedication, that call, that's the talent that we know this roster can bring.
Rin is quickly repositioning some of these ADSs, so as there is no pressure coming down from the window on the bedroom, which of course now is slowly being set up here by the members of Fnatic, he was able to do that. That is going to be one concussion, unfortunately, that bounces back. That's a PC utility you might lead later on, but that is going to be an M870 close around the corner, stopping anybody from taking control of the logistics area. And with that ADS out there as well, they have limited amount of utility left. They have 4 grenades, but those would be caught. And of course, 2 flashbangs as well. It's the first one quite close. That is going to be very unfortunate timing here, but Woogieman somehow still lives, rotates out, and tries to find some more safe ground here, as he doesn't want to go back into that vault straight away.
I mean, that really should have been the end of Woogieman, and it almost was. He's in a position, though, where he can keep biting back. Coated as the cover of the door. The diffuser goes cold, but is instantly picked back up here. Fnatic had themselves set up for the trade, but Woogieman still has himself set up. The pressure is consistent from that secondary SMG light. All that's left with just over 10 seconds and a spread here of Fnatic. Well, they know exactly where he is. The diffuser's on the other side of the room, but he doesn't even really see it. A 5-2-1, technically an improvement by Fnatic.
Yeah,
but
still not really what you want, right? You want to get at least 2 rounds on the...
Fnatic have had a lot of games where they've sort of been able to lead on their defenses, and from that, they've put down a bit of work. But from that, it turns into that sadder story of, well, it seems like a heartbreaking defeat. It seems like they were so close.
Yeah.
Here's that other opportunity. Here's them to be the team that comes with a resurgence, because it's a very different latter half energy. If you're the one that starts threading rounds together and you're on the back foot, that is heat. That is energy. And that could be something that ties you here against DAMWON Kia.
It definitely is, and they're setting up their defenses here. See one of the Evil Eyes set up to watch over the armory side of things. I'm not quite sure. I missed where the second one was placed down. If that has already been placed down, quickly check. Yeah, it has been placed. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Observer, easy.
Observer, easy.
I wasn't sure who it was, but then as I said Observer, I remembered.
It's okay, Caster Hap.
No, so I wanted to say Observer, but I don't know who you are. But then I realized Medics was sitting backstage, so I knew it was Stefan.
How do you know Medics is sitting backstage?
Because I was sitting backstage before with him.
Either way, a thrilling anecdote here from the APAC North desk. As we find,
I have my way with words.
Can confirm is sat backstage. And the pressure is coming center stage on the big double door. They're trying to find some control here, but DK, one thing they do very well is move swiftly. They did the job that they needed to do on the opposite side of things and go for the swing and the hot pressure there onto blue. 3 bodies are going for that bout of pressure as they're still doing the hatch work. And it's this consistency where there is still the sledge causing pressure and the potential of a fuse, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, there is that fuse, and of course fuse has received a little rework where the cluster charges can go through reinforcements. Now, think of the hatches, for example. I saw blue being pinged out, so that's the stock hatch. There's an opportunity to place one through there. Woogieman potentially looking to find one below here as well. And what you essentially do with this cluster charge is stop anybody from impact tricking. No one in their right mind is going to be walking in as the cluster charge goes off, trying to get an impact nade in to close the hatch, because, well, that is probably going to lose you your life and the hatch eventually. And as the RC Roteros are starting to flood in from the side of blue, taking care of all the slowing utility, banshees, barbed wires, etc. DAMWON Kia is slowly preparing themselves. And with this second cluster charge they have now confirmed, no one is inside the western side of the arsenal. So they know that is going to be clear if they manage to hold the hatch and stop anybody from rotating back in.
Wow, 30 seconds, and they're very spread out at this point. They have themselves all around. The Fuse goes for the rotate and trying to clear some space. The Flores drone is busying its way all the way down, but shot out just as it got to the very end. It will get a read and a sort of thread of information, but without the movement behind, you can see Coded is getting themselves ready for a bit of a hot drop. The burn on the intel, he goes tucked into the corner. They're going to see if they can try and catch it out, but Light doesn't quite hit the swing.
Cover.
There is the cover that comes through. Chibisu's trying to find the angle, but it's planted. They knew exactly what they needed to do. They got the intel on where they needed to cover, and they were in the positions to do it with the verticality still in their favor. And now just Euro left. He gets himself a double, but the fight on the Flores is scrappy on the door. And it is 6-1 for DK.
And even if he would have been able to get this kill onto the Flores and head towards the side, there was still a cluster charge in place, ready to go off as soon as he wanted to retake the Arsenal side of things. And I think that it is important to say that Fuse, whilst it didn't pick up any kills, it might have given out a lot of information out towards the side of DAMWON Kia. You place them into the back of the Arsenal, you know no one is going to be playing there. You also have these two can openers you can use to open up these hatches, so it's a very valuable operator to bring on that bottom floor. I would argue maybe the desk thinks differently about that. Quickly checking. Oh, I wasn't listening. All right, well, that doesn't matter then, so I get that point. Either way, I think it's a good use. Once it doesn't pick up kills, it definitely gives a lot of information and takes care of utility.
I was super curious about this original DK approach. They've obviously attacker repicked. I'm wondering if they intended to do a Blitz Amaru take, but then they went, no, we'll change against that.
They might have thought they were gym, bedroom, you know, go up the hatch, go for a plant.
I mean, you're in a 6-1. A Blitz Amaru, it would be a hell of a push.
It would be.
But
not yet.
We're not seeing it
Maybe
yet.
we get to see it next round.
That one's a pocket strat. It's staying in pocket.
Or maybe just to mess up with the CGG stat riders, you know?
Keep them on the toes.
Want to be an Amaru main, just pick it and then repick it out. Either way, electrification on that main wall. And this is something that is easily able to get rid of here. You bring in Boogeyman on that Maverick, of course. You start opening up with that blowtorch. You either find the Electroclaw, but it could be placed at the baby steps, and if that's the case, it's a bit more tricky to get rid of. No, it's actually on top. Does that reach? Well, it has been destroyed already, so I don't think it does anymore.
No, it's out of reach.
Either way, it's out of reach now, and that means it can open up. They're just needing to make sure that there is no active trick with the Electroclaw going on, so a second grenade will be tossed in at the moment the exothermic goes off. That will be destroying any Electroclaw placed, and as you can see, it had been placed by Light. I'm just not quite sure if it was placed on said wall or onto the construction wall instead, as that is going to be very good information onto Mariu here. There's nothing he can do as his complete wall is getting ripped open here. He stands up, rotates up, and gets himself removed from the playing field.
That was so quick with the Selma. They made sure it was pretty much instant and gave Light no time to try and offer it and get the destruction. You're underneath, is still sat waiting with the chance to rotate and maybe apply some pressure back up Red if they need it and offer some support there, or the bottom of Garage if he wants to go super spicy. Lily's there too around the lounge area, so they have that double setup they can try and utilize here. And no, in fact, Lily wasn't lounge. She was even deeper, even further. There's a drone that gets a reveal as two more bodies die on the site itself. There's one more. It's just Lily left in a do-or-die clutch situation. There's a bit of a slow bout of movement here. They're just holding off the angle. They're going for the plant in the meantime. Can't even catch the diffuser.
They've heard it.
The loose swing. And yeah, the drone was down there before. A flawless to end. A DAMWON Kia day here. 7-1.
Yeah, and where Fnatic have found a little bit of success in their attack, they haven't been able to get a defensive round in here. And a little bit of success is quite literally a little bit of success.